What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. Let's get this party started. I'm your host, Ed Honcho, and this is the best conversation on the internet. The reason why, well, you guys make this what it is, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's do it like this. I guess this will work. So tonight we're going to talk about what is a sellout? What makes a sellout? And don't mistake the fact that I put Kanye on the thumbnail for me saying that Kanye is a sellout. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I just did that because I know a lot of people call Kanye a sellout, along with some other individuals. I have my own personal beliefs about that. But I think that we're going to discover what is a sellout, what makes a sellout, why would someone be in that consideration, and who determines who is a sellout. Because I hear this term all the time, and it seems like there's a connection between the people who use the term a lot compared to the people who are being called a sellout. I'll give you a second. I'm putting all your early birds where they belong. So I want to hear it. I ain't finna type it in the chat 'cause it's so much faster to do it like this. And yes, I know who was early. I was lurking, keeping a list, and Angela, you wasn't here before nobody, so ain't nobody trying to hear all that. I believe we're good. Got it. And let me see. All right, now we're good. Everybody's got their early bird. You got your early bird 5,000. I don't want to hear anything. So like I said, we're going to talk about it. Again, like I said, this is the den. This is the nightly 10 p.m. Again, I apologize for not having an early den and give y'all a proper heads up. But we all survived. We all lived. We're here to talk about it. I don't know why everything is just craziness. It's looking all really crazy. So let's see what we have joining us this evening, and we will get into some good conversation this evening. I see Jackie, Only One Lie, Miss Bell, D the Gamma, Angela. Let's see. Dan Strong, Dan, a man in the motherfucking building. Empress Yaya, what's the motherfucking deal? Sourberry, Guard Your Nuts, what's the motherfucking deal? Heidi. Heidi. Let me see. Vincent, what's the motherfucking deal? Bad Bougie, what's the motherfucking deal? 335, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. HT, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Good to see HT in the building. Professor Trio, what's the motherfucking deal? You said the mic is low? The mic is down, but the music's not loud. Y'all don't even know where that's from. Y'all don't even know where that's from. Let's see, that's some of y'all, that's before y'all's time. Okay. Let me see what's going on here. Don't mind me. What am I doing here? All right, we're just gonna do a little bit of that. How about that? Is that better? Is that much better? Let's see. Where we at? All right, bet. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Interesting. What's going on here? I'm laughing because of some of this carryover. So a sellout. What is a sellout? And me personally, this is what I believe. I was thinking about it, as we were getting ready for the stream, as we were trying to get it all together. I'm like, what is a sellout really? You know what I'm saying? What is a sellout really? And is it somebody who maybe stood on one platform and switched out for something else for a price? Is that the definition of a sellout? So say maybe, I know there was a guy, they had an issue in the NFL and they said he sold out. But was it for the greater good? Or was it solely for himself? Is a sellout only a selfish person? You talk about people who are musicians. You hear that term a lot, a sellout. They start off authentic. They started off who as we're anti-corporate everything, and then they get bought out, and then they start performing, pop music or something like that. I see the term used with guys like, and it goes kind of hand in hand. I know in the black community we use, they use Coon. I don't use it, but I get called a Coon quite often. It's all right, I'm cool with it. I'm a cool Coon. You see Coon, you see Uncle Time, you see, and I guess Uncle Time and things are kind of different, but I think Coon is usually synonymous with like a form of sellout for whatever reason. But I think it gets used too loosely because I think some people consider somebody a sellout because they don't have the same ideals as another individual. And I think in that case, I don't think that quite counts. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that counts because if the person never agreed with your beliefs, or they were never affiliated with your beliefs in the first place, and you're just mad because they don't think like you do, but they've always been true to themselves, how does that make them a sellout? Steve, like I said, I don't know. A lot of people say Steve is he's a sellout, or he doesn't have integrity. He's cooning and what do they say, soft shoeing, and using all those terminologies. But what if Steve's whole intention it was to get money, protect his family? If he's doing it for his family, that's his intention. If he doesn't care about anybody else, they're not taking care of his family. Is he really a sellout? People can talk about integrity or whatever else. I think that's a little bit different. But if his intention from day one was to do as much as he could because he knows, the feeling of going without, and he knows what it feels like for P. Diddy to date his daughter, is that right or wrong? Kanye, he rocked the Trump hat. Some people say he sold out because he's the one that said George Bush don't care about black people. What if his line of thinking changed? What if his mentality has changed over the time, And so my thing is, pardon me, let me get this properly set up. But my thinking is, I think that it only applies truthfully when someone changes, when someone is, I don't think it's a natural occurrence. So say if I become more educated about something, I learned something. Like I say, my beliefs have changed over the last few years. Experience, life, educating myself to certain things has changed my mentality. Okay? That I can say. But I think if you can get bought out, sell, you can change your intentions generally for money for no other real reason. I think that's where you get the sellout. I don't think Kanye's a sellout. I think his mentality just changed. Some people say he's doing this, and I guess Coon can apply because it's if you don't. No, it's nothing. It's nothing new. I'm just using him as a reference. I don't have anything. I don't have any problem with what Kanye has done or said. I think the problem is people expect, and it's weird because I look at it like this: people expect because you look like him, you should think like him. If you look like such and such, you must think like this. And so because Kanye looks a particular way, but he may feel differently about something, people get upset. Well, he's not going through the same thing I am. He's cooning. He's not thinking the way I think he's cooning. But does that make him a sellout? Are these terms, are they really synonymous, or is sellout a thing of its own? Is it really about integrity? If your intention was to start doing something to make money, and then somebody says, well, here's a bunch of money, but I want you to do it a little bit this way. I want you to do it like this. Is it a sellout if it's providing resources for your family for the foreseeable future and then some? If it allows you to get your family out of a dangerous place, is it a smart move, or are you being a sellout? And even if you are, quote unquote, is it really that bad? Because when I say that there's a certain type of person who complains about selling, it's usually the person who doesn't get that opportunity. I think there's very few people with that level of integrity. And when I think about maybe one of them might be Dave Chappelle. He had certain standards that he wasn't going to bend for. And he left a lot of money on the table. I commend him for that. But if you ever heard when he came back, he was like, man, that was, he jokes about it. I don't know, I mean, depending on when you've seen him, you know, I've seen him stand up and he talked about it, you know, a little bit. He was like, that was a lot of money. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, you know. You know, he talked about lamenting when he saw Key and Peele and they had basically his show, you know. So I think that there are levels to it. I think that there are different views when it comes to what a sellout is and what it's all about. Nikki napping Nicole, what's the motherfucking deal? Prepaid, what's the motherfucking deal? Savage Donald Trump, what's the motherfucking deal? I see that we have come to a peace treaty between Heidi and 335. Dre, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Already good to see you. He was in jail. What are you doing in jail, man? It happens though. It happens. That's tough. You gotta pay that child support. My name. What's the motherfucking deal? But my thing is, if the good is greater, you know, or if it's a greater good, I guess. I mean, let me not try to be too clever with the wordplay. If it's for a greater good, and we always talk about, you know, especially in particular cultures, me, myself, and I. And this selling out helps you, yourself, and I. Is it worthwhile? If I had I won't say an argument, but I remember a while back in some of the older dens, and we used to talk about a variety of things. And I would talk about, you know, the other channel, different things, a little bit more openly, more. I don't talk as much about certain stuff, but there's a particular den folk who was saying that, hey, because my idea was that if the opportunity ever came, I wouldn't want to abandon the sauce. If they say another organization in this city came and said, hey, you know, we'll bring you in, let you talk sports, let you do this, and this for a certain amount of pay. But my thing was that I would never abandon the sauce. Reason one, why, is because I believe like the sauce could be greater than all of that. I just got to put in more work. And I've kind of found out a couple of things that I want to do and how to operate with that. But that'll get there when we get there. But they were like, fuck that. You take the money and then use it to benefit, you know, your own brand or whatever else it is. But my thing was just that, I don't know. But what are morals? What is it if somebody is saying, okay, well, we just don't want you to do this thing and this thing, and we'll pay you a whole lot of money. Not that we're asking you to do something that's necessarily against your standard. We just want you to change it up a little bit, but we'll pay you a whole lot of money to change it up a little bit. Is that a sellout? You know? If it provides you more opportunity to do the things that you love compared to doing things that you hate, is that being a sellout if you change your ways? So like I said, I'm curious about what it is, because I think you have like corporate sellouts. I think that's generally the mentality you have when you talk about entertainment culture. I think when you talk about white culture, I think that's kind of the term sellout that you have there. But I think when it comes to the black conversation, I think you're talking more about, you see it used on so many levels. That's why I say it's almost in the black culture, it's almost interchangeable with Coon and Uncle Tom when you say soft shoeing and all this other shit. Is the boss not acting right for you? I just don't like you. So I think about what it is, you know. Is it a sellout if I'm willing to do something terrible so that my children don't have to live in a situation that I had to come up in? Not say terrible, but, you know, change the game. And so you talk about values and you talk about integrity. But who do I owe the integrity to, you know? Do I owe the integrity to other people, or do I owe it to my family to put them in the best situation that they can be in? You know, what is the real integrity? Because, like I said, I know a lot of people I know a lot of people were upset with what Steve Harvey said a while back. But the people who were most upset were poor people. And I don't want to say poor people, but people who are not on the level of wealth that Steve Harvey has. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, my thing is, even though we do talk shit around here, how can you shit on somebody? What is Steve Harvey worth? Like about 160 million or something like that? He's up there. From going and living in a car, you know, maybe it's been a few decades now, prior to the Steve Harvey show and shit like that, taking a risk on doing comedy and shit, to now being worth, you know, what is this, 9 figures? And if he says that, hey, the way I got here was from putting in a bunch of fucking work, right? I had long nights of not sleeping by putting in work. That's how I got there. Then people say, oh, well, look at this other rich person. They did. Guess what? P. Diddy didn't necessarily have to do the work. P. Diddy had a little album, because they always use P. Diddy as a reference. And I'm not saying P. Diddy didn't have to. The artists do the work. Steve does his work. He's not a so-called producer. You know, and I'm not knocking P. Diddy. P. Diddy's what he's done to accumulate his wealth and his amass. I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking an investor. I'm not knocking anybody. But Steve went from nothing to something in the time that we had been knowing, you know, P. Diddy to be relatively well off. Okay. And so that's the one I always see about delegating this and delegating that. But when you are an entertainer, you cannot delegate someone to do your responsibilities. You know what I mean? So that's my deal. Say you know you got mad mama walked out. So my thing is this. Say sellouts have been away from where they come from for so long that they become entrapped in the reality that they're resolving. But do you owe anything to where you come from? Isn't it? Well, I won't say the goal is to get away from where you came from, and I'm not saying forget where you came from, but I don't think you have to. You know, if you grew up at a, you know, because you look at a lot of these athletes and what motivates them to success. They talk about how they grew up with nothing. What's his name? The motivational speaker who lost his arm, Inky Johnson. You know, he talks about it. You ever heard his story, man? It's tragic. But the things that motivated him were the conditions in which he's living in. If you become well off, do you have to go? Why do you have to go back? I mean, like I say, you could use his motivation, but the purpose is to not go back. You know, some people start well off, and those people really don't necessarily strive as much as other people do. They actually tend to fall off more so than others. But I don't think it's about. Cause think about it, man. I put it like this. Cause I use a certain perspective. I didn't grow up rich, and everybody I mean, even look at all the rap music and everything. It's all about wanting to have lavish stuff that you never had. So nobody who grows up impoverished really likes that condition. So why wallow in it? Why try to maintain that mentality? I have no problem with somebody who came up and they try to adjust and be different and maybe set a different example for their kids because or whatever else it is. I have no issue with that. Now I'm not saying that, you know, you just shit on everybody that where you came from. I don't think you do that. But I don't think you have to be absorbed in that lifestyle. I don't think that you owe anything. If that didn't help you, I don't think you owe anything to it. If you want to, if you feel validated by doing it, then absolutely. But we talk about nowadays, shit, you almost can't give back. And I hate to use, and we can talk about the Nip situation. But I'm sure there was a lot of people probably told Nip, man, you're doing all right, get up out of here. You know, don't worry about folks and do all that. But he felt that it was his duty to do what he did. And in my opinion, he'll go down as a legend forever. A lot of people like jumping on the bandwagon now. They on to the next thing or whatever's hot. Like shit. The only thing I still been listening to is the fucking victory lap. And it's just like I don't know, you know, because I think there's a lot of people, you know, like I told you, I had a partner here went to the league, And, you know, he came back home, you know, to try to show love. They talk about, oh, you know, he think he too good now. He think he this, he think he that. What happens when he comes home? He gets robbed. They jack him for his shit. Is he a sellout if he don't ever come back? You know what I'm saying? Is he a sellout? Because there's also a thing, and it's not even about fame, and it's not about fortune, it's not about, you know, money and all that. Money, I guess, is part of it. But you got a lot of people who say, you know, such and such grew up here, and then they went on and they moved to the other side of town, where it's a nicer neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And now they're talking about, oh, he a sellout, or you think he too good, you know, for this, that, and the third. But especially with a lot of how these young dumb niggas move, they don't know nothing about you. You come back around just trying to say what's up, but you doing good for yourself. Shit, motherfucker might try to, you know, you might look like lunch. It is what it is. So I don't blame anybody for feeling like if they're doing better and they want to continue to move forward and escape that mentality. I don't blame anybody who goes back. But I just don't think that. I think everybody has to live their own life. I think everybody has their own point of view. You know. To me though, I think you're a sellout if you lead people down the wrong path. Whatever you do for yourself, I think it's fine. But I think when you start leading people down, deliberately leading down people down the wrong path for your own gain, for your own benefit, and you know that you're doing something that is not in people's best interest, so that you can continue to move ahead, and I think that's when you start getting into that gray area. You know what I mean? So, you know, and I'm not saying no, don't look out for your family, but think about it. I guarantee, who was it? I guarantee it was somebody, who was the motherfucker? Who was the motherfucker? We talked about Antoine Walker. I bet he felt like, man, I'm doing good for myself. I'm not taking care of my people. I'm forgetting, you know, they don't think I'm a sellout or this, that, and the third. And now he gave all his money back. Hundreds of millions of dollars. AI. Whole lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Most gangster rappers promote negativity of the people for monetary gain, true sellout. And I can agree with that. You know? And that's the fucked up part about it, because, you know, you can call it telling stories. You can call it I'm telling the stories of where I'm from. And I can understand if you're telling a story in past tense, maybe. But a lot of it is glorifying the actions that are still going on. And people are thinking that's how you got to make it. That's how you got to come up. I talked about, was it last night when I told y'all about that fucking video I saw that fucking disgusted me, man? And, you know, I talk about how I'm not influenced. Everybody's fucking influenced. Like, you may not think that you're influenced, but you are influenced by something. Everything influences. So I talk about the music. People, I'm not out here having a hot girl summer and all that. Yeah, you might not be, but guess what? There's some fucking little kids, some fucking teenagers that are, because they are listening to this shit because this shit gets promoted. I listen to so and so and I don't act like this. Yeah, you might not, but it's some 15, 16-year-old who is, because they think this is what it is, because they may not have had the positive influences in their life to say, hey, pump the brakes, you know, chill out on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that it's tough, but at the same time, when you talk about entertainers, right? Do you blame the entertainer for providing people what they want? Because if the entertainer got out there, like, think about that Jay-Z, we were talking about 444 the other day. The entertainer got out there and he gave him some business advice via music. People said that he was being conceited. People said he was talking down on people. But again, we live in a soft generation, and anybody talking about anything positive, it seems like they're talking down. You know, so, you know, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. I ain't going nowhere. You ain't allowed to go to Greece. You ain't get your permission slip signed. But I'm going to open up the line, and I want to know what y'all think. I'm not going to hog the line all day. But my thing with Monique, I don't even think Monique's thing is necessarily about selling out, and I talked about it. Monique, and especially when you're an entertainer like that, you are a business entity unto yourself. And I think, like old buddy, what's his name? Clayton Thomas, that nigga's funny. Is it Clayton Thomas, the comedian? Monique got to put a quarter in her ass because she played herself. But nah, I think Monique's situation was, a situation a lot of people have. It's not just black folks, but I think it's just like when it comes to business, especially when you're kind of on that ground level. Say last year Marlon Wayans called Ben Carson sellout. Make that make. I didn't know Marlon Wayans was 47 years old. Right? First. Two, Ben Carson, and that's another thing. That's what I was talking about. So if you've always been of one mentality, how are you a sellout if that's who you've always been? Right? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Shout out to Dan Strong for dropping some Benjamins in the den. Appreciate the love. Like, that's my thing. Like, I don't understand, how are you a sellout? If that's who you've always been, that's who you are. Because you don't think like everybody else. And then you look at the flip side, if somebody was to say, oh, all you people are the same, niggas gonna lose they shit. Niggas gonna lose they shit. But then when a nigga does not think like everybody else, oh, he's ostracized, he's excommunicated, he's a sellout. You know, we've booted him. You know, he's no longer a part of this community, exiled. You know, and so that's my thing. Like, but I was watching the little Marlon show because it comes on Netflix. Me and old lady, we'll watch it from time to time. And I actually like the little show. It's a little goofy show. You know, it is what it is. One of those co-parenting shows. But I did not know Marlon was 47 because, I have to think about it. Marlon was grown when I was a teenager. But yeah, he plays like a real goofy ass role. But I guess that's just who it is. But all the Marlon, gotta give credit to the Wayans though, just for what they did. We talk about for the culture, right? Why aren't the Wayans brothers given more credit for the culture? Because they didn't have to do it via telling anybody to do anything dumb. That's the way it's supposed to shake. You build, you put on for your family. Who's the older one? Keenan Ivory? Is Keenan Ivory the older one? Then Damon? Keenan Ivory was on, put his little brothers on, put his they put the next generation on. Not even the little Wayans are on, right? That's how it's supposed to be done. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how you put on and then you work for. See, the Wayans operate like Asians. You know, you feel me? They like the black Asians of entertainment. That's how the Wayans act. Now I'm sure they into some of that weird Hollywood shit. Yeah, I respect the hustle. I ain't got to agree with somebody on all of their beliefs. I don't think anybody should ever be 100% in accordance with anybody's beliefs, but I can respect your hustle. Period, point blank. You know, and that's what I think a lot of people miss. They think that if you, I'm like, hey man, I like this person over here for whatever. I don't have to like your, and I think that's where we get so fucked up these days too, because I can enjoy what it is that you do. I can enjoy your entertainment. I can enjoy your music. I don't have to be entrenched in your personal beliefs. Disconnecting the artist from the entertainment or the individual from their craft. It seems like we can't do that anymore. Now it's like, if this person, who was, the thing with the, oh buddy, this is something I want to talk about. Then I'm gonna open up the line. I wanted to talk about this and I forgot to talk about this. And make sure y'all are following the Den Show on Instagram. I'm gonna start doing a lot more like little quick hits. I put up a little temporary video, but I'm gonna start doing like a lot of little quick opinions and things like that on the Den Show Instagram. But I want to talk about old buddy who owns the Dolphins, right? And matter of fact, for those people who talk about the Texans need to trade to get Kenny, they will not get Kenny Steals because old buddy has an opinion on Trump. This guy has a foundation where he helps out the inner city or whatever you want to call it. He does a lot for a lot of other people. But he happens to be a Trump supporter. He held a rally for Trump to raise funds because that's, look, if you got money and you like money and your goal is to continue making money, guess who you finna rock with? The guy who's gonna say he's gonna keep more money in your pocket. If I'm a billionaire, I'm not gonna go with the people. I'm not gonna go with De Blasio, who's talking about, well, anybody who makes over $2 million needs to be taxed 70%, and then you're gonna want to tax your savings. You want to tax everything. Man, look, I ain't making $2 million a year. If I was, and I ain't, I'll stop De Blasio, kiss my fucking ass. Like, that's what people don't even realize. A lot of these these motherfuckers don't get it. Like, it's stupid because And I'm not going to call motherfuckers. Not right now. I will later. Especially a lot of these athletes who are campaigning for some of these motherfuckers who are talking about taxing. So you're telling me you make $10 million a year, you want to get taxed 70% on that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you athletes are happy to get these bigger and bigger contracts. Yeah, well, again, let's tell people to vote for the motherfucker who say we're going to tax you 70% of that. And so you're going to give all your money away. You're not going to be big balling. You're not going to be living lavish. And again, money isn't everything, but it's a lot of things. And I don't know nobody who wants to give 70% of their money away. But anyway, like I said, Kenny Stills was mad at old buddy because he's like, oh, he had a fundraiser for Trump. So does his fundraiser for Trump, which is, I forgot, he raised more money because of the backlash that he got because he owns some exercise places and some other stuff, which also are super inclusive. He's like on the board or something like that. So people were talking about, I'm not gonna go to these places anymore. I'm not gonna buy these bikes anymore, or whatever, because of this guy. But we're only gonna focus on the fact that he did a fundraiser for Trump because we got all this Trump hate. But we're not going to look at the good he's actually doing for everything else, right? Right? I don't know. Again, we pick and choose what we want to find important. Again, it is what it is. And let's just open up the line. Let's talk about it. Let me get to the booty here first. Give me a second. Let me open up the dilly dally. I just think, like I say, it's just, I feel like people should be entitled to live how they fucking want to live. I don't think I have say-so on, I'm going to talk shit if you're doing negative. Talk shit if I'm doing negative. I think that's what it should be. That's how it should rock. But the thing about it is, for people just living their life, they're not hurting anybody. I can't complain about it. Why are we having no Me Too moments about Katy Perry out here sexually harassing folks, right? So, all I'm saying. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. These people don't really want to fucking. These people don't really want you to fucking get rich. They don't. Come on, man. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling into the den this evening?
What's good, Honcho? This prepaid. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Prepaid. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind this evening, man?
Man, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to my nigga Professor Trill. He texted me to make sure I was good. I just got out. I came home on swole. You know what I'm saying? I got full of that commissary while I was locked up, but I'm good, man. I found God while I was in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Muslim now. I don't eat pork no more. Feel good.
Oh, baby.
All praise be to Allah. But no, man, I miss y'all, man. It's been crazy busy at my job, but so glad you got this topic. And you know why I'm mad at you right now?
Why is that?
Because I think you wanted to use Jay-Z picture, but you went with Kanye picture instead.
God damn, prepaid. How the fuck you know, man?
Well, you know, I've been graduating top of my class my whole life. I put two and two together real well. They paid me to put two and two together real well. And we need to go ahead and I'm ready to get into this shit. Jay-Z, Sean Carter is my favorite rapper of all time. Music-wise, there will never be a person to touch. It's nobody in this atmosphere. I don't even have a top 5 list. Give me Jay-Z. Throw in Nas somewhere around there, but he not like 2. He like Jay-Z number 1, like Nas like number 3 for me. And then you name the rest of them niggas. I don't give a fuck who you put after that. But boy, oh boy, when you talk about a sellout, Jay-Z is the definition of a sellout. Let me tell y'all why, okay? Let me throw this little caveat out there. Majority of black people don't know what a sellout is. We use it as a cop-out if we don't understand some shit. Like if a person makes a business move that we don't understand or we don't get it, we call them a sellout. If a motherfucker move away that we don't think they should be moving, we call them a sellout. I look at a sellout completely different. A person sellout to me when you lead people down the wrong path, knowing that you're leading them down the wrong path for your own personal gain. That's a sellout to me. A sellout to me is when you criticize a person for something and then you turn around and do the same shit for your own personal gain. Which brings me right next to this Joe Camel, ugly motherfucker Jay-Z. You are something else, bro. Jay-Z told everybody to boycott the NFL. He wore them fucking Colin Kaepernick shirts, talked all that bullshit about how good, no good the NFL is and how the NFL don't want black owners and all that bullshit. You then took a shot at Travis Scott for performing at the Super Bowl not even 6 months ago. That was 6 months ago, bro. And here you are, cutting a deal with the NFL to partner with them? You are the worst type of nigga. But I've been told you a couple months ago, Honcho, that nobody was putting two together. Jay-Z became a poverty pimp and no one caught on to it.
I believe.
Think about every time something happened in the news, it's a big case happened or some big shit. Like, he did the Trayvon Martin documentary. He did the what's his name, Khalifa Bowden, whatever his name is. May rest in peace. He did that documentary. Now he's doing a documentary on Emmett Till.
Yeah.
Jay-Z is exactly who Quan X would be if he had money. Yeah. This is the problem that I have with people like Jay-Z. And, it's not even Jay-Z, because all Jay-Z is an entertainer. He can do whatever it takes to keep putting food on the table and providing for his family. I hate black people who celebrate this shit, because let me tell you the reason why. The whole Super Bowl, everybody I know talked bad about Travis Scott. Now, I personally got mad at the motherfucker in all my group chats because Travis from Houston. Yeah. I'm from the H. This was Travis' biggest moment. This was it for him. Yeah. Travis, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, there's probably a 99% chance Travis Scott will never perform a Super Bowl ever again. Literally, the stars had to align. He had to have the highest selling album at the time. He had the biggest song in sicko mode with Drake. It took everything for him to be at the position. And for a person like Jay-Z to shit on him and make the little song talking about some, I don't need the NFL need me, you want me, you got to pay the fee, to do all that shit, it took a lot of shine off of Travis. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason why it bothers me so much. Travis Scott performs, everybody call him a coon. They call him a sellout. He, what they call him, a trinket nigga. They said he was tap dancing, he's a Kardashian. 6 months later, Jay-Z does the same thing. This is black excellence. Yeah. This is black excellence at its finest. The difference is Jay-Z. He ain't signed it. He not performing. He signed the deal with the NFL. It's exclusive. He signed the same fucking deal Travis Scott deal. You give them a service, they pay you. But what we do is we let the black elites do something, then we sit back and we celebrate that bullshit. There ain't been two bigger sellouts, and it's so iconic that Jay-Z wears his jersey. The number one sellout was Colin Kaepernick. The second biggest sellout was Jay-Z. Kaepernick, you walk around for 3 years talking about the NFL colluded against you. They colluded. I got evidence. They colluded against me. And as soon as the white folks offer you $2.5 million, you settle for that shit. If what you're saying is true, and this is the thing for me, I watch football. I think Kaepernick is terrible. I told y'all that. What happened in his career? He was terrible. He got a spot taken by Blaine Gabbert. There is no way to fix that. Do I believe Kaepernick deserved to play in the NFL for a team? Yes, I did think he was good enough to be a backup. I know he wasn't in the NFL because he wouldn't take a backup role. But if you believe what you're saying, if you believe wholeheartedly people were blackballing you, why would you settle? Why would you settle? That is a sellout. He was standing up. He was fighting for us, dog. Social injustice. Then why the fuck are you in the court and settle? If you fighting for us, let every last nasty detail come out in one of those memorandums. See, this is where we go back to black people standing for something. So we won't stand for shit. Because as long as y'all thought that Kaepernick had got $60 million from the NFL, man, Kaepernick did his thing, man. My man got $60 million. Wait, hold on. The NFL gave him $5 million. Wait, $5 million? Well, I mean, that's a lot of money. Nah, it was $5 million between him and Eric Reed. That split it. 2.5. Man, look here, man. I mean, it's still a million. He's still a million now. It's a sellout, bro. That's some sucker shit. That's some pure sucker shit. Now, y'all will let that shit slide and will still be pissed off for Kaepernick, but Ben Carson, he y'all sellout though, huh? Because he black and he a Republican, so he a sellout. See, let me help y'all out with something. And like I said, I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. Jay-Z dropped album, everything besides 444, huge fan of Jay-Z. Not because what Jay-Z, I love what Jay-Z, a lot of people, they finally listen to what, the black empowerment and things that he's been doing it every album. So 444 was the worst one to me because he cried on the whole goddamn album. I don't care about cheating on your wife. You've been cheating. I don't give a shit. Make good music, nigga. But this is the thing. This is the thing for me, and this is where I am as a person. I don't care if you are Democrat, Republican, atheist. I don't give a fuck what your political beliefs are. If you are black and you are achieving, that is black excellence to me. The problem with most black people are, though, it's not black excellence to them. It's only black excellence if you do it the way they want you to do it. See, Jay-Z can't miss because he's Beyonce's husband. But how was it not black excellence for a guy from Houston who had to move to Atlanta just to get on and was making beats in people's garages when Travis Scott was damn near homeless? How was that not black excellence? But we don't look at it that way because they haven't done their way. See, what Travis Scott did, the journey there is awesome, it's cool, but because he was Kylie Jenner, we don't want to count it. See, that's the problem. That's why black people don't even understand what's a sellout. Because the person y'all celebrated on social media today is the biggest sellout. So, went back and forth with one of my coworkers when the news broke. We argued about it for a little while. And he was like, no, I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. I said, okay, let me tell you like this. This is what I want you to do. I want you to the same scenario, erase Jay-Z and put Kanye West in that same scenario. And you tell me that Kanye sell out for the NFL. He said, He said, fuck, man, you got me. I would call Kanye a sellout. I said, that's exactly what I mean. Because Kanye is friends with Trump. His actions are always lived in a different light because y'all don't understand black excellence that way. Because that is how your brain reacts to shit. This is how black people are programmed. This is how black people program. Jay-Z can become Donald Trump partner tomorrow. You know what everybody gonna say? Shit, man, he bringing us all together, man. That's whole, baby. Throw up the rock. You just talked bad about this man for 2.5 years. How the fuck this work? But this is who we are as people.
I agree.
That the biggest sellout is right there in front of them, and niggas gonna celebrate that shit regardless of the fact. Regardless of the fact. Niggas call Kanye a fucking sellout in the Coon. This nigga own all his shit. He own all his shit. I don't even know what to tell you.
Yeah. Because then
if this nigga make
to what is this shit worth, like $2 billion now or something like that? They say is
bro, he is finna be the first self-made fashion mogul American billionaire. The first self-made. Gucci is made in what? Gucci in Italy.
I think so.
Louis Vuitton's from France. Yeezy is made in fucking Calabasas, California. His shit is produced right there. Nike's in China. Adidas in China. Yeezy made right here. But that's not black excellence because he's with a Kardashian. That don't count. He's a sellout, but Jay-Z not. Jay-Z, the same person who made songs about not fucking with the NFL and he don't trust the NFL, boycott the NFL, but he doing deals with them. Like, how wild is that? That's wild to me. The crazy part about it to me is everybody Kanye West came in the game with, think about it, y'all. All y'all think about it real quick. Everybody who was signed to good music still make music with Kanye West. Everybody that Kanye West discovered, the John Legends, the whole night, all the people still make music with Kanye West. Where everybody at that Jay-Z started off with? Y'all ever thought about that? Where everybody at? Dipset, done. Joe Budden, done. The fucking State Property, all them cats from Philly, all done. Dame Dash, done. And the wild part is Dame Dash said it like a year ago that Jay-Z was going to do this shit. He said Jay-Z has a price on everything. There is no loyalty with this guy. That's your sellout right there, man. There goes your sellout right there. Truth be told, a lot of y'all ain't going to want to hear it, but Honcho can vouch for because he my age. Until Beyonce got with Jay-Z, she was never so H-Town. She didn't perform in Houston. She didn't rep us ever. If y'all think I'm blind, I'm flying. I ain't never had no wings come out my back. I damn sure Icarus. If you think I'm blind, ex Honcho. She never repped Houston. Never. She got with Jay-Z, and that was a part of her rebranding, was to be so Houston, so Texas. She never repped us. All of Beyonce shows was everywhere but Houston.
So she took Slim Thug off the song.
Oh yeah. Slim Thug had to sign with Pharrell and Neptunes just to even get a meeting with Beyonce. Beyonce been knew who Slim Thug was. Do me a favor, Honcho. Think about it. Go through your mental Rolodex. Think about all the Destiny Child songs. Think about all the Beyonce songs. Mm-hmm. How many times did you do any music with anybody from Houston anyway? Think about that.
Let's see. No, that's the Slim. Is the only one I can think of. I want to say.
Wow.
Didn't I want to say? Cause didn't somebody say Lil O or somebody? I want to say it was like an old song. I might be wrong about that, but if it
man, she sampled a Lil O song. She didn't put Lil O on the song. She sampled this shit. Mm-hmm. Now I'm sure she got paid the royalties off of it, but come on, man, think about that shit. Yeah. How you go? You call Kanye a sellout, but everybody Kanye came up with, he still rock with. Something adding up here to me. Something adding up here with me. Him and Common still make music. Him and Talib still make music. Even the people that Kanye once fell off with, they still make music together. He still put everybody else on. Virgil is the face of Louis Vuitton. Off-white is the most expensive shit, period. Man, my son had me for some off-white shoes. I didn't know what the fuck that shit was. I said, boy, you ain't get none of them. $1,400 pair of Jordans? Come on, man, stop that. For you to go tear them up, ain't no way. But we want to talk about loyalty and what's a sellout and what is a sellout, while Jay-Z is literally in our face, spitting in it, and we ain't gonna call a spade a spade. Beyonce's a sellout. We ain't saying nothing about her. 10 years after Hurricane Katrina, she want to make a song about float on a car of a storm. Come on, man, I'm tired of that shit. This is what I want y'all to take with y'all before I get off this phone. Stop letting these black elites tell y'all what's loyalty and what's being a sellout, and telling y'all what to boycott and how to feel about situations. Because as soon as that money come calling, they leaving all y'all in the fucking dust. Every last one of y'all in the fucking dust. And before I go, Jay-Z sold out his home fucking city for the Brooklyn Nets to come in there and build a stadium. Y'all hate justification so much, and Jay-Z got all them niggas kicked the fuck out of Brooklyn. That's your sellout right there, man. But I get it. It's way more convenient to call Ben Carson a sellout because he wears a suit and wears glasses, and he's a Republican. That's it for me, Honcho. Good to hear from y'all, man. Y'all be blessed. Fuck with me.
I really appreciate the call, Prepaid. Good to hear from you, man. Woo! That's a hard act to follow right there, man. Somebody who where I seen Angela look like she was in there talking some trash. Where Angela? What you gonna call him and rebut that with, Angela? You know, I know you're in there lurking, Angela. You got your 5,000 pistachios for your early bird shit. Rebut the commentary. But that's my thing, man. You know, again, separating the artists from their actions. I like Jay-Z music. I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan. Like I said, I got on Jay-Z later and then started going back in the catalog. Beyonce from the city, I don't rock with Beyonce at all. I don't give a fuck about the Beehive too. Y'all look, I got some I got some wash repellent for y'all ass. Because Beyonce ain't never rep the city. She did that pose in the damn Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose knees didn't even work, and she doing poses in fucking Derrick Rose jerseys and shit like that. Like, you know, my thing is stop with the nonsense. You know, think for yourself. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling me into the den this evening?
Hey, Honcho, it's Belle. How are you? I'm glad I heard Prepaid's doing okay.
Doing well, Miss Belle. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. Talking about sellouts, the epitome of a sellout is having a game plan and changing it halfway through the game and leaving everybody else on the field. And that's exactly what Prepaid was talking about with Jay-Z and Beyonce. I got to stick up for Monique, though. I don't believe she was a sellout. She stayed by her story all the way through it. She felt like she got thrown under the bus. Now, she was a bit, maybe not professional about it. However, she stuck by her guns, and she stayed with her integrity. And there were several people that came out later to support her and said that they were wrong by not doing that. And I find it interesting that Karma has kind of seen some ways, too, with that. Have you noticed that?
What would you say is Karma has? Because I know they said Steve got fired, but I didn't see what all happened with Steve. I know they said he had lost a show or two, but
oh no, well I wasn't actually even talking about Steve. I was talking about Lee Daniels with the show getting canceled for next season. It's going to be the last season.
Oh, Lee Daniels, that's a
I mean,
whole
it's
other thing,
it's not always in big mighty ways that things happen, and sometimes it's just it hits you where it hurts. But as far as Monique goes, she's stuck by her integrity, and that's it too. Is selling out. At least in where I grew up, you know, it was the crabs in the bucket who were the ones more upset about you going on and doing better and not staying in the hood or in the way you grew up, so that they could just, you know, what is that? I can't even think, but it's the fact is sometimes you just got to do better.
Yeah.
Or it's like when a band goes for an audition and all they want is the lead singer, or they want all the instruments and they don't want the singer. Then whoever actually gets the contract becomes the sellout. You know, the word sellout actually can mean a whole lot of different things to a whole lot of different people. Pretty much all. First two raffles weren't working tonight.
Okay. Well, I will hook it up. I got a question for you. So, has there ever been an experience, maybe with a band or an entertainer or someone that you may have been a fan of, and then they engaged in an activity that you would consider selling out, and it changed your opinion of them, or how did you feel about that? Was there ever anyone like that?
It's probably been a really long time, but I'm sure that there's been one or two. I don't really watch a lot of that. I think to me, selling out would be doing something that you promise yourself that you would never do. You know, going against your own integrity is a personal sellout. And, I mean, you look at things like Enron, you look at some of these big corporations, you look at, what did we go through all that? There was all kinds of stuff going on in the late 90s with the financial stuff about selling out. And I can't even think of it. It was just before the Bitcoin. You guys were probably, most of you guys probably weren't even born yet. But it was when they were inflating a lot of the housing was being inflated because they needed it, and that ended up sinking everything into a depression. When they knew if they did it, that was going to be the result. So a lot of people, you know, there was a selling out issue on that, but not. I'm not meaning to confuse it. The people who, it's called like blowing up the stocks, but I can't think of the name of it. And then they waited till they were at the highest point, and then they sold out. But it was a whole lot of mess going on in the 90s with the financial stuff. Anyway, as far as celebrities, I think the only thing that I would probably see as a sellout, or just it would hurt more than anything, is to find somebody who was extremely successful in their career and ended up working at a fast food restaurant, or ended up working at a quote-unquote normal job because they were so far beyond that. And to sell out what maybe their abilities were, I think that would be also considered a sellout. If you've got somebody who is an incredible artist or has a specialty and they don't work towards that, is also a sellout to themselves.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So someone who doesn't capitalize on the talent that they have, and they kind of maybe undersell themselves or under.
Well, it's actually a fear of success rather than a fear of failure. It's like they totally underbid what they can do because they're afraid to actually make that shining star, even though they have the capabilities of it. That to me is a personal sellout, because you're not putting all you have into making all you can be.
I agree.
You know? Does that make more sense?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, definitely. Fear of success is a very strange thing. It's a very real thing. I've seen it time and time, and there's been points that I may say maybe I may have had a little bit of that myself at certain points when I was younger, definitely.
Okay, I gotta say something. It's probably putting you on blast, but one of the things I've found is the more consistent you are with us, the easier it is. If you say you're going to be there by 10, be there by 10. This is the school teacher telling you. Being late, being on time is late. And do you know where that comes from?
I'm not sure who said that. Where did that come from?
It's actually a military term. And what it means is if you're on time, you're actually late. You should be at least 5 minutes early to whatever you're doing to make sure that you have got everything on the tee.
See,
So if you're on time, you're actually late.
See, today I blame Lady Hunter. I was good to go, but then she started asking me to do some chores or a certain request at the very last minute, so I blame her.
And I appreciate the fact that you call her your lady more often than your old lady. I do appreciate that. I don't care what anybody else thinks, but I do appreciate that.
Oh, it's only when I gotta say bad stuff about her. She's still an old lady that ain't changed. But
That's all good. That's between you and her. It's just I appreciate it more when it's positive, you know. Seeing as some of us are actually old.
No, I think you're only as old as you. You're only as old as you feel or you think you are, something like that.
Yeah, right about now I'm feeling my age, but anyway, that's kind of about all I have. And to be a sellout, it just really, to me, truly means is that you don't have any integrity towards the people around you or to even yourself. And that's about all I got tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Miss Bell, and I have supplemented the raffle stachios, and I've given your stachios for your call, and I appreciate you calling in and sharing that.
And good to have prepaid back, and I can't wait to hear the next caller.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for calling.
All right. Good night.
Well, what's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Man, it's your boy Roman.
Roman. What's on your mind, Roman? What are you thinking about tonight, man?
Oh man, who's the last caller before me, Honcho?
Miss Bell's the caller for you.
Oh well. I heard a little bit the last caller and what she said, but I agree, man. I think when you just I don't feel like name dropping no names because I know you, Honcho. If I name drop one person, you're going to you'll make me explain why. So I don't feel like name dropping.
You gotta say it, and hey.
Nah, I'm not name dropping tonight because I know some names I personally think, but I don't. Hey, look, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. I don't feel like doing that.
You gotta stand by your opinion. So if you saying that you can't retract, you can't throw the hook out there and then put it back. You want to throw some bait out there, man. Look, you gotta catch something.
Look,
man.
It's another thing called tiredness. Okay, I'm tired, and I know my brain is not 100% right now to go to a whole 16 minute talk with you, Honcho. Now, this was earlier then, I got to. But right now, I'm just explaining what a sellout is, and that's all I'm about to do.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the thing is, when you know a sellout is losing your integrity. You know, I think it's when, I would say, when you fight for something, or like you fight against something, like you fight against corporations, or you fight against big banks, and you fight, let's say you fight against that. Like you're not big on corporations taking businesses, and all that. That's always been your main argument, you know. But then, you know, you become that big business. You're gonna make a deal with that big business, and you lose who you originally was. You get what I mean? You don't go. But then when it's not your thing, when you just change your whole, I think, character. If you act one way and then change another way, it's just, I think it's stupid. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to name drop somebody. I'm name dropping Kanye. Let me tell you why I'm name dropping Kanye. I'm not name dropping Kanye because of his political views. So I already know what you was about to say. It's not because of that. I don't really, not big on Trump, but hey, look. Hey, that's his views. That's who he want to vote for. Cool. What I mean by Kanye and change, it's just, man, you look at his whole personality. You get what I mean? Now, we all know Kanye's always been very, at times, out there. You know, very different of how he makes music and how he became, right? You know, but hey, it's just a switch. Oh, you know, I don't get how Kanye, right, back in about 2009, but back when he made College Dropout, all that, right? He was normal. You get what I mean? He was just he never heard Kanye say he had, you know, bipolar issues or
You know, he made songs like Jesus Walks. He did other things that to where Kanye was just a brother. I'm not saying, you know, he was himself. You get what I mean? Kanye's always said some wacky shit, like how he interrupted Taylor Swift and shit. The MTV Awards. But you know what? He was still Kanye. Even though black people always defended him for that, right? But then, I don't know, you realize how Joe had where he just made like a bait and switch when he got with Kim Kardashian. You know, I pulled up so many pictures of Kanye when he had bright colors on and he looked happy, had the smile. You know, then when you look at the Yeezy line now, it's just nothing but gold colors. I mean, be honest with me, how many Yeezy shoes you know now that are produced now that have color in them? Or it's just a different shade of something. I mean, all that you see is really just like a lot of beige. You get what I mean? A lot of white. You know, a lot of just toned down colors. It don't make no sense to where, you know, then the different, and it's just like the way he talks and then how he just changed his whole mode. You know, it's just crazy. Now, I don't understand, and that's why I call it sellout, because I feel like he changed his whole, who he was as a person, to where when you got with this person, you know, I mean, like I said, I don't like to bring politics in it, you know, but first you say George Bush don't care about black people, and now you support Trump. But, you know, a lot of people say Trump is like that. I'm not getting into that. I'm just saying. It's just the way you change. It don't match what you used to be. So that's what I call it as a sellout. So I ain't trying to go too long.
Well, I'm going to disagree with everything.
Oh my God! Oh,
and I'm going to tell you why. There's a few factors. I agree with some of the folks in the chat that Ye has always been different, and that's what makes him who he is. He's always operated differently. He's always had a different sound. That's part of that creative genius, if you want to use that word for lack of a better term, that separated him from the pack. But the thing about it is, Ye has always had issues, but I think that they have become more prevalent and more visible because he's become a bigger and bigger star. Back then, it wasn't cool to talk about issues and shit you were dealing with. Now we live in a society where all that terminology comes to the forefront and we talk about mental health and we talk about all this stuff. So back then it was, you know, shit, it wasn't none of that. But you got to think about what comes with this level of fame, especially you're talking about dating a Kardashian, one of the most famous people on the planet. So he's going to get, you know, even more than he's famous himself. There's going to be a lot of issues. There's a lot of things behind the scene that you're not going to be aware of that will take a toll on a person. I don't think he's changed. I think some of the issues, there were issues, you know, he was talking about the medication, having him doing certain stuff. But I don't think that he's changed like that. I think that he's grown. I think that he's grown. And I think that he's made himself more aware of the issues that he cares about. And I think most people are just not receptive to those issues because they want, and this is the thing, an artist is supposed to grow. Like the problem with most people is, and I'm going to counteract this in just a second. The problem with most people is they want an artist to be who that person has always been. Ye has grown, has gone through things, and each of his albums kind of dictates a different era of his life and a different mentality. And that's what makes him good. Because again, like I said, he tells stories, again, he paints narratives with his music. But then again, you got a guy like, and this is not a knock, but then you got a guy like Slim Thug, right? Slim Thug never deviated. When he did that Star Trek deal with the Pharrell for a little bit, he got a bunch of feedback, got a bunch of flack, and then kind of went back to staying to who he was. You know what I'm saying? But that's been successful for him because that base that loves him continues to love Slim Thug because they got from Slim Thug now in 2019 what you was getting from Slim Thug back in 99. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like certain people, they change as artists, they grow. Certain people give their base what it is that they've always wanted. They just keep feeding them that because most people don't change. And so I think most people are, I think that Kanye has been who he is. He's grown. Some people have grown with him. Some people have just said, nah, I'm cool on that, man.
I mean, I'll give. I agree with you to a point because his mother did die. So I understand that. I know changes in your life does happen. I think Kanye did make a big change when his mama did die. It's just I don't know, just the flow and what you become is just when you get into a higher level. It's just how you change. It's just a little weird, man. It's just and I'm not saying you can't improve on your views, but it's just no, man. I just don't know if he's fully connected to what he used to be. But man, that's just my opinion. I'm ready to get out of here, man. I don't want to go too long, man. That's my call.
All right. I appreciate the call there, Roman.
Man, anytime.
All right. Mia Khalifa only made $12,000 as a porn star. Do you believe that? Do you believe that Mia Khalifa only made $12,000 as a porn star? Is she saying that? Is she avoiding taxes? Was she out there maybe hooking more so on the low? Was she getting undervalued? She said she only made $12,000 as a porn star. What's the motherfucking deal, man? We got calling into the den this evening.
Professor Chill, what's up, Honcho?
Professor Tria, what's the motherfucking deal? What is on your mind this evening? What are your thoughts tonight?
Well, since we're doing some sellout calling tonight,
Okay.
I figure I'd go ahead and expose a certain person.
Okay.
And that person will be you, Honcho.
Okay. And why is that?
I have sent countless videos, articles, all kind of shit, research, send it to you on Instagram. And then the very next day, you do a fucking stream talking about trash. Trash, Honcho. We not talking about garbage. We talking about trash. I'm just like, no, this nigga didn't. Trash, Honcho.
Mm.
The whole stream y'all talked about trash.
Yes. Yeah, we had to talk about. Matter of fact, yeah, you talking about the Baltimore trash incident?
Yes.
That was
Trash.
That was important though. There was a message
No, it was
behind.
not.
There was a message behind the trash.
That wasn't no fucking message.
It was
No,
the
it's
meaning
not
of
important.
the trash. It was how the
There ain't
trash
no
was
meaning.
moved.
No bullshit. And then, like, the takes is just none of this shit y'all was saying made sense.
Mm.
None of it made sense. It's simple. Oh my God! I listened to that whole fucking stream. I did, and I'm just like, I just don't understand how nobody just can figure that out real simply. Look here. First of all, it's just exposing the bad infrastructure of the city of Baltimore.
Mm.
Period. You got fucking trash men for a reason. How the fuck they couldn't collect the garbage? Most of that trash was where? On the fucking street, on the side of the curb, where the fucking trash goes.
I mean, some of that shit
Where's
was
it
in the
supposed to
alleys.
go?
And some of the shit was in the alleys, and it was behind.
Yeah, but
buildings and
once
stuff.
you done piled it up on the street, as far as you can pile it up, before it falling in the street to become a hazard for drivers, where the fuck else you gonna put it?
Hmm.
You ain't gonna leave it in your house?
So, but who is the?
And what you supposed to do? Put your trash in your car and drive to the fucking landfill?
Yeah.
You know most of the motherfuckers don't have no car.
So who is responsible for that?
And then prime example, look. Excuse me?
But who is responsible for that though?
The fucking city.
But is it the people who keep voting for these same elected officials who don't do a good job? Is how much of the blame goes on the people?
Well, hell, as far as what I know, all the elected officials kept going to jail, getting locked up for some reason or another. So they had no choice but to put another motherfucker in there who still couldn't do the shit right. Because they getting locked up too. That's what I'm saying. All the motherfuckers was crooked.
Yeah. Could you imagine going to jail and sitting next to a nigga talking, hey, I voted for you. Ain't that a bitch? That's tough.
Man, ain't that a bitch? I know, right? And I mean, to me, it was as simple as this. We had a whole fucking flood hit the city of Port Arthur. Port Arthur broke. We ain't got no goddamn money. Man, we had shit, you know what I'm saying, from our house and everybody's house. Dog, we had shit piled up on the side of the road, bro, taller than a motherfucking taller than people, man. Like 6, 7, 8 feet fucking tall. Trash, garbage, all kind of shit. Lined up on every street, every block in the whole fucking city. You go to Port Arthur right now, you won't see none of that. Why is that? Because the people did their fucking jobs.
Now you want to know why?
They cleaned all that shit up.
I was if we talking about the same time, I was out in Port Arthur around that time. See, my pops, he be on all kind of little off the wall hustles, and he was out there junking the fuck out that shit and making a killing for a couple hours work, junking for people who's leaving refrigerators and I mean just everything that you can imagine. He was scrapping the fuck out that shit and making a fucking killing.
Why was he able to do that, Honcho?
He had it in his mind to fucking take advantage of opportunity.
No, he had the right equipment. He had a truck. And more than likely a trailer.
Yes, absolutely.
Again, like I prefaced what I said earlier, them people up there, they ain't got no vehicle at all. They ain't finna have no pickup truck. Because it's different from here to there. You know, down in Texas, you gotta have a vehicle. It's gonna be hard for you to get around.
Yeah.
Up there, you got fucking all kind of shit you can take up there.
I mean, hold on one second, Professor.
It's just different.
The stream doing that bullshit. Hold on, let me. I want to make sure that you heard. Damn, I don't know why this always.
Them people don't give a fuck about hearing me no way.
It's always in the fucking den, man. Like I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's always in the fucking den that we have these issues. It's also had a couple little janky issues today, but it's the den that it always fucking cuts out every fucking time.
It's got to be a time issue because that's the only difference. Yeah. If you're using all the same equipment, it's just got to be the time of day.
It's crazy. It's kind of in and out. I don't know if y'all can see if the stream or not. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know if y'all can see or not if it's active. But I think we back. You know, it's jumping back and forth, getting shitty. But go ahead.
No, I'm done. I said what I had to say.
Okay. So
the whole fucking stream about trash. Putting up pictures of that nasty ass shit. Nobody want to see that.
But what I'm saying, okay, but it wasn't necessarily about the trash. It was about the actions behind the trash because the people in the city, there were certain people who were mad because people came and cleaned up the city. Like that was my thing. It's like, how are people mad? Even where Miss Angela at? Because Miss Angela said it was fake news. She said that people went out there and threw the trash out there so they could come the next day and pick the trash up, just so they could have a photo op. Like this is more the situation that I was talking about, that people will go above and beyond and make something simple outrageous. Like it's probably more work to put the fucking trash out there than it was to fucking clean the shit up. And then they went in and they cleaned up and they kind of cleaned up some of the little alleyways and all that other shit. But then it was niggas talking about, well, these white people shouldn't feel so comfortable out here in Baltimore. We should go rob them. Or what they doing is they trying to gentrify. Like what I'm saying is what was a simple situation, people trying to, I guess, establish some goodwill or whatever you want to call it. You can call it politicized or whatever because they had their MAGA hats on. Don't really matter to me. They did what they needed to do, or they did a good deed, and people were mad about it. Like, how do you feel like somebody can justify something like that?
Very easily. Like I don't understand what y'all don't get. First of all, when you live in a motherfucking area where you got to watch your back against the people that live around you, think about how you feel when you got some strange looking motherfuckers come in and then start doing something good for you. You're going to be skeptical as shit because you learn not to trust nobody. Again, niggas don't trust nobody. Period. They always think there's an ulterior motive. Always. No matter what it is you do. And then you got to also consider the number of niggas who was complaining about the shit. I could see if like the whole city was up in arms and there was a riot or just like a gang of niggas with the beating up the white folks, but nobody did shit. Niggas is talking like you can't satisfy everybody, man. It's, no matter what the fuck you do. So I don't even understand why that's the issue. I really don't. A couple of ignorant niggas had some dumb shit to say. Man, that happens every day.
It was a lot. It's a lot of them, man. So that's my thing is the mentality. Like, how much of a problem is that mentality though to advancing as a whole? Like, is that mentality detrimental to people who are trying to succeed You know what I mean? Or
So
those
why in the fuck would you be thinking of somebody with that mentality advancing anything?
because see, I'm going to tie it in full circle because it's those people with that mentality who call people sellouts when they just doing better for themselves. Wow, you saw how I brought that 360?
They lost, Honcho. They lost, bro. I don't know how else to explain. Some people you can't save. Those are the unsavable. So all they doing is just exposing themselves. Like, you know what? Thinking like that, I can't help that type of person. Black or white. Can't do nothing with them.
Okay, I agree. I think that.
So I appreciate a motherfucker just letting his ignorance just fly out straight forward. Just come on out with it.
Okay. So I don't know if you caught Prepaid's call earlier. And
Yeah, I heard his call.
Okay, so how do you feel any particular way about that? About Jay-Z?
No, he had a bunch of good points.
Okay. Jay-Z in your
I
top
couldn't
five?
argue with none of it. Probably not.
Where is
Probably not.
Where is Bun, Pimp, or as a group? Where do they line your top five?
They're number one. Fuck you mean?
I'm just making sure. I'm just curious.
Shit.
Yeah.
Best rap group ever. Shit.
Okay. See, and it's funny because I'm thinking about Roman's call, and that's kind of my argument. I think that I use against when niggas try to argue UGK versus Outkast as far as duos, is that UGK had the consistency and Outkast just kind of.
It's not the same.
Yeah, they kind of went popish to me, so that's where I kind of.
Yeah, cause see, you could literally say, and this ties back, UGK never sold out.
Yeah.
You could literally say that because it's well. Say what?
No, Prepaid said he gave you a shout out, so you need that back.
Yeah, I heard it. I appreciate it. I got his text messages when he texted me back. You know, it was good enough. I feel you, but because Bun said that Pimp didn't want to change his sound. You know, after Big Pimpin' came out, of course the record label came to him and they thought they should do this pop shit. Pimp said, "Man, I ain't doing that bullshit. We gonna stay true to our core 100,000 fans or whatever." However many they said it was. We gonna rap for them niggas. Fuck all. If we pick up a fan here too, cool. If we lose a fan here too, they're cool. We gonna just fuck with these niggas who been rocking with us since forever. Our true fans. That's what we gonna rap for. Niggas ain't on that shit no more.
I agree.
They don't even know what the culture is anymore. Cause all they care about is the money, which, again, I respect the hustle. But when you can get the money and the respect, and further the culture, come on, man, you a bad motherfucker.
Okay.
And remain fucking relevant after all them years.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's a different.
That shit rare.
Ain't too many that you can say that were able to do that.
Yeah, and I understand, what you was talking about earlier, like, cause I mean, shit, I'm the same way, Honcho. I'm the same way, cause like, I used to fuck with Master P heavy. We all did.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden the nigga got money and we just like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Like, I need that old ghetto Master P back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he just, you know what I'm saying? Look, he got a whole different circumstance at this point. He ain't in the hood no more, so he don't have that same hunger. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't around that shit as much as he once was, so he ain't got nothing to rap about. As far as that, he rapping about the shit that he doing and going through now. So, it's just like, damn, this nigga ain't the same no more. So, to us, he fell off.
Yeah.
Even though he's still the same nigga, he just under different circumstances.
I agree. Shit. Master P laid the blueprint. That's what I say. A lot of people, but niggas in love Jay-Z and talking about all him getting money and all. Master P did it before anybody. Master P laid the foundation.
That's not true.
Who do you say did for Master P?
Jay Prince.
Jay Prince don't rap. Jay Prince don't rap though.
Yeah, but what you mean blueprint? Fucking he gave it to Master P.
But what I'm saying,
who do you think taught that nigga?
Okay, I'll give you that. But I'm talking about actual entertainer. Jay Prince, yes, he was the magic.
Okay, so from all right. Okay. All right, cool. Well, you're right if you looking at it from that aspect. Okay. But it's a lot of niggas got paid the same way Master P got paid. And then they want to disrespect the dude. Like, that's some cold shit there.
Yeah, like, man, hey.
I just don't get that.
And that's the line right there, prepaid, that made me change my thoughts about Bun and Pimp. Because I used to always because Bun just had that style. I used to be like, man, Bun the one dropping game, Pimp the flashy one. But then when you really stop and listen to it, that's the line that really made me change. Like Pimp is really the one dropping all this game. Pimp is the one that's really saying some shit. Like Bun go hard and it sound really good. I'm not knocking him as an artist, but Pimp is the one that you really listen to what he's saying is really dropping the game on you. Like, but he said that tired of living fucked up, tired of living bad. I'm tired of hearing my grandma say when you can go to church. That whole man, that Riding Dirty, probably the most underappreciated album. Even though any rapper not these youngsters, but any rapper that was anybody at a certain point in time knew that fucking album. Didn't matter where you were in the fucking country. Like if you were a rapper, you knew about fucking Riding Dirty, especially in the South. There was some niggas on the West Coast and up north who knew about it too. But it was just like, to me, I still think as a whole, it was underappreciated.
I ain't got nothing for that. You said it well.
Yeah.
But as far as what you said, I would have to agree. Pimp did lace you with the most game. But at the same time, Bun, like what his role was, he was just supposed to be the lyricist.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Pimp was supposed to be the one to come with the sound, and Bun was the lyricist. But Pimp just gave you this perspective that if you wasn't in the game, he was putting you like right in the middle of it. And he would say certain shit and you'd be like, damn, is he serious? Yeah, he dead ass serious. And if you from the game, you'd be like, damn, this nigga really said that shit. Like he was talking about the realest shit.
Man.
And only the real really understood what the fuck he meant.
Man, you know what songs still get me to the day that I feel like I'm the one that's doing dope? It's certain songs that when he just, if you just listen to what Pimp be talking, it's like, damn, that's when rap was, that shit used to be raw. This shit now is just, it is what it is. That's when rap was raw. Was it not what the fuck I know what it's doing, or was it Stone Cold Junkie? Am I thinking about the wrong one? I might be thinking about a different one. But like I said, that shit there, man, fucking Pimp just had some shit, though. Like I said, I love him. Like Bud is still one of my favorite. I'm gonna be honest though, I didn't care too much for the Trill OG Buns. If I'm gonna be,
me neither.
Because that's when he kind of put that he kind of went to a formula to me on that. You know what I'm saying? And it just sounded like it wasn't that shit wasn't Murder Bun. It wasn't Free Pimp C Bun. The shit that was on Trilogy was just kind of like, he kind of had a formula. He had a style that he was gonna work with. That was more of a mainstream sound to me. Like, but I ain't mad at him if that's what people was wanting and that's the way he wanted to deliver it. But to me, he didn't have that. It just didn't have that. I don't know, that Bun, you know what I'm saying? That shit, it didn't have that Bernard, you know?
But see, the difference here is when Bun went out on his own, he really showed his more hip-hop side. Mm-hmm. He was always a hip-hop head, always, but when he was with Pimp, it was on this country rap shit. Mm-hmm. That's just how it was. So Bun just went with, you know what I'm saying, the songs or whatever. Because the way that Bun said that they did this shit, that shit sounded crazy to me. Like, them niggas will very, very, very seldom be in the studio together. Bun will go in there during the day and do what he do. Then he go home and Pimp be there all night. And then do what he do. And then when they come across each other, when one leaving, one going, you know, they'll say something across. I did this. All right, I'm going to check it out. Then the other one gone. And I was just like, really? Like, I ain't never made a song with another nigga like that. Nigga, it's always been, we in here together. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we just bouncing ideas back and forth off each other till something just sticks. Yeah. That's the way I've always did the songs. So that shit right there was crazy to me.
That's wild.
And he was like, man, we were so fucking used to it. I automatically, like, as soon as the beat started playing, I would automatically know what Pimp was talking about without hearing his rap or nothing.
So
that's crazy.
I can only imagine when they did hit in verses, though, be like, God damn. And some of that shit.
Yeah, no shit.
Hold on, look. Only one line. New Yorkers, the originators of the let me get an only one line. Count skills and these pistachios I've been so generous with, man. What is you talking? It's a whole New Yorkers. You wanted to get on in New York. Here, let me take this mixtape down to the radio and let them play it. In the city, man, you had to get on the Chitlin circuit down south. You had to motherfucking play the clubs. You had to your song had to get on before you could get on. Right. It wasn't no play it on the radio. It wasn't I know a DJ in the club where everybody it was. You had to get on. You had to make your shit a hit. You know what I'm saying? Like before it would ever become. It had to be a hit before it even got radio play. That's the crazy shit about it. So. It is what it is.
Yeah, and in New York City, you can go platinum just within the city limits.
Mm-hmm.
That shit ain't happening in Houston.
Yeah, nah.
Everybody didn't listen to rap music like that. Just not how it went. Especially back then.
Yeah. That's the thing that pissed me. That's why I say I think that's when I stopped listening to 97.9. Honestly, when they got rid of Straight from the Streets. I think that was it.
Yeah, that shit was fire.
That's when shit. That's what put "Wanna Be a Baller" on. That's what put all that shit on. Niggas used to get a chance to sing your little music in and shit. If your shit was jamming, they played every weekend and shit. Niggas would get on. But once they got rid of that shit, they was fully corporate. You know what I'm saying?
You remember Street Flavor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, Street Flavor.
I was on there one time.
Word with D Solo.
Yeah. When he came to PV, I was with my homeboys and shit. And we did a freestyle right in front of the dorm.
Okay.
That's a throwback for your ass.
Yeah, Street Flavor was the shit, though. That's what I'm saying. See, y'all don't know nothing about this H-Town city. They probably be like, there these niggas go with that. And they going down that H-Town memory lane again. Hey, y'all be all right. Y'all learn something.
Of course.
You say, Conrad Blessing, you got the answer.
Say what?
Nah, somebody said they have the answer to something. I'm not sure what they're talking about. So, we'll figure it out.
Oh, anyway, that's my call. I know we're getting off track.
Yes,
sure other people want to talk about the subject.
All right. Well, Professor...
So, shout out to Prepaid Cheetah. So, I'm going to holler at you, Honcho.
That's a bit, man. Appreciate the call there, Professor Trio, man.
All right.
All right. Wait. Only it allowed us to participate. Y'all was trying to bogart. Y'all got mad when the South took over. Then y'all started copying the style. Who was it? Them Dipset niggas came to the city. They started copying all the style. They started doing everything we was doing down here. Taking the scissor and doing all that crazy shit. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, what's up? It's John from New York. How you been?
John, what's the motherfucking deal? John, my favorite New Yorker. How are you feeling this evening, man?
Oh, man, I'm feeling good. It's a good topic you got going. I don't know, Trill and Prepaid stole all my shit, but I'm going to try and give you a good conversation.
Right.
But I just want to say congratulations to Prepaid. I heard he's looking real sharp with his new suit and bow tie. But what you call it, so I just want to start off by saying that the biggest sellout of all time is Fredo from The Godfather. That's the biggest sellout of all time. I know that Chris Cuomo just got that nickname, but I think we should give it to Jay-Z. Everyone's talking about Jay-Z the past day or two, especially with that NFL deal. My definition of a sellout is someone who feels very strongly about whatever topic, and then they're willing to look the other way or act like they don't care, act like it's not a big deal anymore for a paycheck or for fame or for fear of losing money and fame. To me, that's a sellout. And there's been a lot of them throughout history. I don't know if there's anything, it's any genre or any topic in particular you'd like me to touch on.
No, like I said, we just kind of in general. I mean, the Jay-Z thing was in it. What are your thoughts on the Jay-Z thing? Do you feel like tying that because he was one of the biggest supporters of Kaepernick. Do you think that's a spit in the face of Kaepernick, or how do you feel like that whole situation plays out?
Who is one of the biggest supporters of Kaepernick?
Jay-Z, being one of
Jay-Z.
Yeah, and now that he's made a deal with the NFL, how does that make him look in your opinion?
Well, I mean, Kaepernick himself is a sellout because he kept talking about police brutality, kneeling on the field, talking his talk. But then as soon as the NFL was willing to give him a check, all of a sudden you didn't hear about him anymore. So now actually you hear him talking about I'm ready to play in the NFL. I've been practicing. So it's you really didn't care about what you cared about. You got your publicity. Your girlfriend, who's a hardcore Black Lives Matter chick who ain't even black, and she got you to join the crew. He didn't really feel that. So he's a sellout to begin with, and that's why he's so quiet now. After he got, I don't know how much he got, but I mean, I don't know how you could put a price tag on black injustice in the world or in America, but apparently he had a price tag for that because now he's a church mouse now. As far as Jay-Z, I've never liked the guy. When I was in my teens and he was first coming out, I liked his first couple of albums, but I was young and dumb. I don't listen to him anymore. The guy to me, he is a huge sellout. He's a hypocrite. He's a backstabber. I mean, there's a saying that Brooklyn guys are grimy. Where do I start? I mean, this whole NFL deal where he signed on as his advisor for recruiting, like he's going to be somewhat in charge of what shows they're going to do for halftime and NFL entertainment and stuff like that. Who's he going to put on there? Meek Mill? Like, who's he going to put on there? Because Meek Mill had an opportunity to go to the White House and talk about prison reform, and he was going to go, and Jay-Z told him, don't go, otherwise your career will be over and I'm not going to support you. And instead, Kanye West went to the White House. People said he was talking like a lunatic when he was in the Oval Office with Donald Trump, but yet a few weeks later, they got prison reform done. And Kim Kardashian went there, and she got that lady, I think her name was Alice Johnson, got her out of jail after she was in jail for like 20-something years for some kind of drug charge. So what are you going to do? You're going to put Meek Mill in the halftime show, but not Kanye, who's actually done something for all Americans? Everyone's been, especially on the liberal side, they've been talking about, prison reform, the prison system isn't fair, this and that, sentencing charges are more for certain drugs and certain ethnicities. You got Kanye going into the White House, and he gets it done, and his wife, who they give shit about because she's white. But yet Meek Mill didn't go, got nothing done, but yet somehow Meek Mill is, a better representative of black people than Kanye is, because you have Snoop Dogg, who's never done a goddamn thing for fucking anybody except for enrich himself, but then turns around and calls Kanye West a coon for going to the White House and talking to him and this and that, putting pictures of Kanye West like in white, I guess you call it whiteface, shit like that. But yet Snoop Dogg never did anything for nobody. You know what I mean? Like, and it's sad because you got these rappers and these celebrities who are out of touch, talking shit about, and I'm using Kanye as an example because I think they did him dirty. They call him a coon and calling all these, like, a sellout and Uncle Tom. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's mentally ill. They try to use the mental ill rap, even though that's something the Democrats supposedly care so much about. But what's funny is, who else also got called an Uncle Tom when he went to the White House? Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He got called an Uncle Tom as well as a few other words. And, because of him, we have, civil rights, this and that. And he endured a lot, and they were calling him names. I mean, Nation of Islam was calling him names. Obviously, racist white folks were calling him names. Or black folks that didn't agree with MLK's, way of doing things. So it's like, if you're calling Kanye a coon, then he's in good company, because that's the same thing they said to MLK, and he's a historic figure in the world. He actually got things accomplished. We all get a paid day off because of him. You know what I mean? So I mean, the bottom line is, throughout history, people that typically are called nasty names are usually people that get the most things done for a certain group of people or for the world. As far as Jay-Z is concerned, I mean, I wrote a couple things down because I know I was going to forget them. But like Jay-Z, story of OJ when I think it goes like dark skin, light skin, you're still black. I'm cleaning it up for the viewers. But yet he says that they're the same. But yet he's only ever dated light skinned chicks. You've never seen him date a dark skinned girl. His wife is light skinned. Any light skinned girl that he's dated or he's been rumored to have dated is light skinned. Blue Cantrell, anybody you name is light skinned. The man started off by selling drugs in his own community to his own people. He shot his own brother, so don't be surprised he's stabbing any community in the back. He talks about, he loves his wife and he's wearing his dreads and he's pro-black and black love, but yet he cheats on his wife with a white woman. He, like Prepay said, he was part of the deal that gentrified the Bed-Stuy in the Clinton Hills neighborhood by Barclays Center. Meanwhile, he was talking shit about white people and Jewish people doing it, but yet when he did it, it was perfectly okay because he was the one making money. He was the one fucking over black people to enrich his pockets, so then it was okay when he did it. Jay-Z's never used his record label, in my opinion, to promote any quality artists that, don't speak about drugs or violence or calling women bitches and hoes. I mean, he's always had B. Siegel, Meek Mill, those type of artists. Now he's got a guy named Vic Mensa on it. And he's dressed in drag and a Confederate flag, and he's pretending that he's a tranny. And he's talking about how the LGBTQ community gets so much hate, and they're not appreciated. Okay, I mean that might be true, but I don't think that they've been more disrespected than the black community. Now he signs his deal with the NFL after he was all gun ho behind Kaepernick about the NFL not having respect for for the black community, to put it vaguely. And then, I mean, shit, where I'm all over the place. Bernie Sanders talking about he wants $15 an hour for everybody, but yet he won't pay his own staff $15 an hour. And then he thought he was cute because then they said, you're not paying your guys $15 an hour. So what he did was instead of bumping them up to $15 an hour, he cut their hours so it would come out to be $15 an hour. Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel so far about the things I've said?
Man, I'm letting you roll. I'm loving it, man. And for everybody who was probably, all the ladies who were probably defending Jay-Z earlier after you said that he cheated on quote unquote Queen Bee with a white woman, they've all abandoned ship now. They're not rocking with him no more. I already know how y'all be in the chat. So yeah. Man, keep going. I'm loving it. I mean,
all right. Hillary Clinton was talking about I'm with her, and Donald Trump doesn't respect women, and women need to be cherished, and women this and women that, which is great. But then you go on stage with Jay-Z, who made a career off of calling women bitches and hoes and disrespecting women, and then try to bring on every rapper that she could. It's like, isn't that a little bit hypocritical? Isn't that a little bit of a sellout to what you're preaching? So I thought that was hysterical. You put Beyonce on stage with you and Jay-Z. Beyonce dances around half naked. Beyonce's, talking about black is beautiful. Meanwhile, she's wearing a white woman wig on her head. And she's light-skinned as hell. And then when L'Oreal bleached her skin on the boxes and everyone was making a controversy about it, she didn't say a goddamn word about it because white people write some really big-ass fucking checks. She sold out. She barely donates. You guys were talking about her and not really representing Houston. She barely donates money, and when she does, it sounds like a big figure, like $1 million to Houston during the floods. But that's a tiny percentage of her earnings. I mean, it's not even an amount. She just based on her earnings alone, she qualifies for a hell of a lot more for in terms of tax reasons for giving to charity. So, $1 million sounds like a lot to you and I, and it is. But to her, $1 million is like $50 to us. Beyonce, she talks about the cops are, not doing the right thing in black communities, but yet as soon as she got her first check, she was gone. She wasn't in the black community. She was amongst a bunch of rich white people. So, I mean, I just see a lot of shit. And whoever in the chat, I think somebody in the chat was talking about how Michael Jordan's a sellout because he don't like black people. Michael Jordan's not a sellout because he never liked black people. Therefore, he was always true to how he felt. So Michael Jordan is not a sellout. A sellout is when you, a I heard some story, like, I think it was Chingy was talking about, the old rapper Chingy was talking about it when he tried to get a picture with Michael Jordan. And he was
Oh
like,
no,
get the hell out of my...
it was a Chameleonaire.
Chameleon.
Yeah, he had just bought a bunch of Jordan. Oh my god, that dude has spent like, I think he said he spent like 13,000 or 30,000, something on a crazy, buying a bunch of old Jordan jerseys. And fucking Jordan was like, "Who the fuck is this nigga?" Like, man, I don't take no. I remember, I don't take no pictures with no niggas. That was his. I was like, dog. Me and my father, we was using that as a running joke for the longest, man. I don't take no pictures with no niggas. That shit was fucking crazy. John, I got a question for you.
I was. What's that?
I got a question for you. It's a couple of allegations or questions going on in the chat. There's two questions people are asking.
Okay. You're Honcho, you're echoing a little bit. I'm having a tough time hearing you, making out what you're saying.
Okay. Let me see. Can you hear me a little bit better now? Or is it?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. I might have to probably change the whatever this is.
There you go. That's much better.
Okay. And so you have two questions in the chat. One of them is asking, are you from Staten Island?
Close. I'm from New York. I'm in the New York City area. I'm in New York.
Okay. Well,
I'm maybe like a 45-minute ride from Staten Island.
Okay. All right. Well, you lose, Heidi. And then somebody was inquiring to what your nationality is.
I'm Italian.
Okay. Good deal. All right. And so you carry on. I just wanted to ask you those two things before I forgot. Heidi is not right. Heidi's wrong. So I got a question about the Italian thing. So is Fredo really a thing in Italian, or did Chris Cuomo just make something up?
Yes and no. Fredo is okay. So I don't like Chris Cuomo at all, and I don't like his brother at all. To me, they're fake Italians, not because they're American Italian, but because I just know they don't really think like that behind the scenes. But the thing is, with Italian Americans, you know, okay. So in terms of I don't know. Let me like reset myself. All right. So the title of the show is "What's Your Definition of a Sellout?" So Fredo is the ultimate sellout. You know, he sold out his own family. He fucked his own. He went behind his own family's back. He made tried to cut a deal, this and that. Fredo's the ultimate sellout. So like when a black person calls another black person like a sellout, an Uncle Tom or a Coon, that's like another Italian person like Fredo. That's like the equivalent. It's not the equivalent of the N-word like Chris Cuomo said. That's ridiculous. But it is an insult, but it's really only known amongst Italian Americans. Like if I went to Italy right now and called them Fredo, they'd be like, who the fuck is Fredo? They don't know. But amongst Italian Americans, if somebody called me a Fredo, I tell them to go fuck themselves immediately. Because I know exactly what they're trying to call me. They're trying to call me a sellout, a punk, an idiot, incompetent. So yes, it is an insult. It's not on the level of the N-word. So Chris Cuomo, in my opinion, I would have done the same thing Chris Cuomo did, but he's also got to be smart. He's got all that money. He's a celebrity. People are going to fuck with him on purpose. So he can't go around hitting people. He definitely would have rocked that guy's fucking shit if they did get into it. The man's in the gym 24. He lives in the gym when he's not. Anytime he's not working. But yeah, Fredo is an insult, and it's amongst Italian Americans. So if you know any Italian Americans and you're not cool with them, do not call them Fredo. You know what I mean? Just like you wouldn't call a black person, a sellout or Uncle Tom or something like that if you didn't know them and you weren't cool with them. You know what I mean? It's an insult,
Yeah.
There's worse words you can call a black person. There's worse words you can call an Italian person, a Jewish person, or whatever. But it's not a nice word. It's not a friendly word to call somebody. Is there any other questions? Any other stereotypical Italian questions they're going to ask me now? Now they know I'm Italian?
No, I just wanted to know because, like I said, I'd heard it going around and I really wasn't really familiar. I mean, I don't think I've even seen the Godfather. So somebody told me I was supposed to watch, so I haven't even seen the movie, so I didn't even know where it originated from till probably earlier today.
Yeah. All right. So another sellout that I can't stand, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat are going to disagree with me, is Muhammad Ali.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. I watched a lot of his old interviews from back in the day, and I watched like a promotion he did when he was in Zaire. I think I was Joe Frazier, And Muhammad Ali was all pro-black. Pro black people being equal in America. He stood up against he didn't want to go to the Vietnam War. He didn't want to go. But then he started cooning for a bunch of white folks by taking out a doll of a gorilla doll, and started saying, "This is Joe Frazier. He's an ugly dog gorilla," and started punching the gorilla in the face, saying, "This is Joe Frazier." And the reason why he was doing that was because Joe Frazier was dark skinned. So I didn't like that. I thought that was very disgusting and hypocritical of him. When he was in Zaire, they asked him how he liked Africa, and he said, "I'm so glad my ancestors got on that ship because Africa is disgusting." He used to go and give KKK speeches and talk about bluebird. Red birds fly with red birds, blue birds fly with bluebirds, because he wasn't for the race mixing, and the KKK used to embrace him. And there's speeches of him doing that on YouTube. He would talk about, nobody wants to spot up their race. White people want to stay white, black people want to stay black. It's just spotting up your race if you mix. And he was just with the Nation of Islam, and to me, after what they did to Malcolm X and the shit that they were preaching to, I think the Nation of Islam is a bunch of fucking sellouts. And then Muhammad Ali's daughters ended up going to marry a white guy. Now his grandkids are light bright and damn near white. So that's why I don't like Muhammad Ali. To me, he's a big sellout. And pardon me if I'm insulting anyone by saying this, but to me, he was buck dancing and cooning for a paycheck. And I don't fucking like that, because his persona was, I'm pro-black, I'm fighting for black people, but only when it was convenient for him. Because when he was in the ring with Jack Wepner, the Irish guy, went 15 rounds with him, and I think he's the only guy who knocked Muhammad Ali down, I think. He was telling Jack Wepner, call me the N-word, it'll be good for business. Like it'll hype up the show. Call me the N-word. And then Jack Wepner was like, I'm not calling you that. And Jack Wepner said in his interview that during the whole fight, that's all Muhammad Ali kept saying, call me racist names. Let's get angry. Let's put on a show for the people. Yeah. So this man was using, racism and, emotional scars for America, and specifically the black community, for his benefit to make a paycheck. And to rewind back to Joe Frazier is one of the few people that gave Muhammad Ali money when he was going broke because of the whole fucking thing where, the country wanted him to go to jail because he was, abandoning his duties to go to war. Joe Frazier is one of the few people that gave him money. Joe Frazier was literally crying on TV because he was so offended by how Muhammad Ali treated him after Joe Frazier came to his defense during that whole saga. So to me, that disgusted me about Muhammad Ali, and then the fact that he was with the Nation of Islam. I'm trying to think here, and I feel like I'm bashing on black people too much. Let me get a white person in here. Eminem, and I want to keep. Listen, I'm an equal opportunity basher. So Eminem is a sellout because Eminem built his career off of talking about killing his wife, calling women bitches, degrading people, calling the gay community all kind of gay slurs, calling everyone all kinds. He basically made his career off of just being a nasty motherfucker, and he made good music in the beginning of his career. But then what was it, 2 years ago, when he was kind of not really making music, no one's really talking about him no more. His last album was not that great compared to his new music. All of a sudden he comes down and starts bashing Donald Trump, talking about how Trump degrades people, and he doesn't talk to people respectfully, and he's racist, and he's this and he's that. It's like, motherfucker, you made your whole fucking career off of being a fucking outcast. And you're going to turn around and tell Donald Trump that he's a fucking this and that for fucking doing the same thing to get to the fucking White House? Fuck you. How do you think you got your $200 million? By doing the same dumb shit Trump did? Fuck you. So I think he's sold out to try and get his name back into the mix. So Eminem's a sellout, in my opinion. What else? Oh yeah, Jay-Z's got this fucking app that he invested in that puts GPS monitoring apps on criminals who get out of jail. So I mean, I don't know why you'd invest in that. I mean, you could spin it like, well, he's doing that so people can go out, and not get locked in jail and still be under like surveillance and get jobs and stuff like that. But I don't know what kind of job you're gonna get if you got a damn fucking ankle bracelet on you.
Yeah, not too many.
It just sounds like he's funding the same system that a lot of black people say that it's not fair to them, which is like the prison and justice system. So I found that a little odd when I heard that. But yeah, that's it. I think I did enough bashing today.
Okay, man, hey, I love it. As long as you.
Oh wait, we can't forget Jussie Smollett.
Oh man, I think that's self-explanatory. That whole situation there, man, definitely a sellout. Definitely trying to exploit the whole situation for his own personal gain, and the fact that you still got a lot there. It amazes me how many people are still trying to justify those actions, and it's really mind blowing. People are still trying to say, "Oh, Chicago set him up," or they did this. They released all the evidence. If he would have actually went to trial, I think they would have easily won that. I mean, there was a mountain of evidence against him. I mean, all you got to do is watch the initial couple of little videos, and you can tell there was some suspicious shit going on.
So he's not going to trial. Cause I thought they said they were opening up the federal case.
I know they were supposed to reopen. I haven't been keeping up as much. I'm not gonna lie with the follow up with the special prosecutor, but I'm just saying I know with the original situation after they released all that evidence and stuff about him, there were still a lot of people trying to defend, his actions and saying that he was set up. I mean, I don't understand how, but I think if people want to decide they want to believe whatever they want to believe, I mean, it's kind of hard to convince people otherwise.
Okay. What was I going to say? Yeah, I left out a couple of Malcolm X things because I want to save that for whenever you do the Malcolm X show.
Okay.
I don't want to give away too many good things on Malcolm X. But so I heard you and I think it was Trill talking about rappers, like your favorite rappers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who did you put as your favorite?
And this is I may have to lean kind of towards Trill because what I grew up on UGK. That's kind of what I listened to more so than anything. I didn't really listen to a lot outside of the South. I liked a lot of what was coming out of New Orleans. I wouldn't put Master P in my favorites, but I used to listen to a lot of Cash Money, a lot of Hot Boys when I was younger, a lot of shit from Houston, a lot of local artists a lot of people may not have been familiar with, but probably more than anybody else, probably UGK. And so UGK is your favorite of all time? Yeah, that would be my favorite of all time. That's pretty much who I grew up with.
Okay. All right. Because I saw something about Joe Budden.
Oh, man. They were talking about Joe Budden released that list or something like, it was like top 50 rappers, and he was like,
yeah, I think he put himself. Yeah. I was like, you're on the list, right behind Joe Biden, like number 3. Get the fuck out of here,
crazy.
Joe Biden. But yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool if you could do like a top 5. Like a segment where it's like top rappers, top rap groups and stuff like that. Fucking have people call in because you got calls from all around the country, so it'd be interesting to see like how like the West Coast people have a different perspective from the East Coast and from like you from like the Houston area. Just it'd be interesting to see how people's lists change.
Okay, man, that's a great idea. That's actually a pretty good idea because I've been trying to think of some things to do, some like kind of little intervals, some segments and things like that. So like a little top 5 type thing might be pretty cool. That actually might be a good idea.
All right. Sounds good, man. All right. It was a pleasure speaking tonight, and take care.
All right. Thank you for calling in, John. It's always good talking to you, man.
No problem. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to my favorite New Yorker, John. I think we're going to make that the last call because it's getting about that time, so it's going to be time to wind down. I know we took some time with some of the calls. It was some good stuff going on. That had to be discussed. So, yeah, I'm glad he brought that up because that's kind of something I've been thinking about. Like, I want to do some things, a few little different things with the den. I can see little bitty looks here, little bitty. You had a different name yesterday, Conrad Black. What was the name you had yesterday? It's nothing personal, but I got to stick this time because I've been really tweaking some things behind the scenes. Like I said, I'm really finna start. There's a particular moderator in here who insults my social media presence. And I'm not gonna lie, the lady Honcho also talks shit about my social media presence. You do all these damn shows, you got more videos and you got followers. So I gotta step my game up because that is integral to the den. Bringing in the right crowd is integral to the sauce, bringing in the right crowd. And I got to be timely about resting and getting things, like I say, just to get better with my scheduling and content production. And I don't want Miss Bell to bash me anymore about my lack of timeliness. But no, but seriously, you know, yeah, the part. Look, I'm honest with y'all. Like it ain't about being. I gotta be honest with y'all, right? I think authenticity is the way to go. Whether we agree on everything, whether we disagree on shit. The Departed was a great movie, but you know what The Departed did for me? It helped me differentiate between all the major white male actors in Hollywood, all the ones that are worth the fuck for the most part. Because I like no bullshit. I've never been like really big into actors or Hollywood or just entertainment, like in the acting, I guess, arena. And I swore, like I used to think they were all the same fucking dude. And I watched them like that's not. Oh shit, you know, goddamn. So I'd watch movies, even watch TV, but it's like I'm a very casual watcher. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, yeah, you know, I like Leo from Basketball Diaries. I think they hated on my boy Leo for quite some time. But I've liked Leo. But then, like I say, you know, I would be like, I would get him confused. Like, I mean, there was a point where I'd get them all confused, man. Yeah, Damon. Damon was the one who was in Born Identity, right? Born Identity was Born Identity. I think the first two were straight. I'm trying to remember what the third one was. I think they started making some other ones after that. Like I don't think I got all the way into them, but I fuck with the Born Identities, the first couple of them. But what I was gonna say, you know, we're gonna start doing. That's probably gonna be a segment, and I'm glad John brought that up. And I think that'll be a start off segment. So what we'll do, because I want to start doing something like kind of having the show properly segmented and. Like I said, I want not necessarily be a bunch of variety, but I want it to be. I don't want it to just get drab and dull. I want to keep everybody actively into it. So I think top 5 will be a segment. So we'll have a variety of different things, either top 5 or top 3, something like that, depending on how many people participate, and that way the chat can be a part of it too. So. Let me get that. Make sure you guys get your votes in for biggest chat troll. You know, make sure y'all are getting those in. Right now we're sitting at a tie. So your best troll, biggest chat troll, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think this is actually a great idea. All right, cool. And so, so you know, it'll make sure y'all get your votes in, and well, Heidi, that I'm confirming. So I have to confirm the votes. I'm assuming that Heidi, is that a confirmation vote for yourself? Okay. Let me see. Prepaid, are you confirming your vote for Heidi? Is that a confirmation for Heidi? You know. What? You can vote for anybody. You can vote for anybody you choose. You can vote via the chat, but just make sure, like, if you vote in the chat and I don't confirm it, I might not have seen, so I want to make sure that I get the votes in properly. Shonda, that is a confirmation for your vote. Yeah, all right. Conrad, is that a confirmation for your vote? Power, that is a confirmation for your vote. That's You got no vote, Empress? Okay. All right, good deal. Shannon, I got to double check Shannon. Shannon be voting for multiple people. I got to make sure she ain't got none of us. Shannon, that is a confirmation for your vote for Heidi. All right. Ms. Bell, that is a vote for 335. All right. Sweetberry, don't get no vote because all she do is steal pistachios. That is a confirmation of your vote for Heidi. Female pimp. Hey, don't worry about all that. Don't worry about all that stuff. Bell did not say Heidi. Bell said Brandon. Now you're trying to steal Brandon's votes. I cannot believe that you would do such a thing. Oh, now you vote for Heidi? Oh, no, see, like, now she took it back. No. The message was retracted, so I don't know. But my thing is this, man. My thing is this. Yeah, exactly. I got it down for Brandon. Yes. Heidi trying to get a look. I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna keep the votes going. We're gonna give everybody a chance to get their votes in. And again, you can vote, via the Denline, via the social medias. But like I said, I'm gonna get ready to wind it down. But I appreciate all of y'all. The deadline is Saturday, yes sir, Dre. The Saturday is the deadline, and then we meditate. I have not been active in meditation like I need to be. And you already voted, didn't it? What for Heidi? What are you talking about? You haven't voted for the. You hadn't voted for the. Which one? I don't have a vote. I didn't confirm your vote. If that was the case, Sweetberry. Oh, it seems like I'm in a state of meditation. No, man. My thing is this. I try not to let too much upset me, which can be a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes, like, what's the word? Not an emergency, but sometimes when you gotta, I can't think, like, I'm a little bit tired. When you need to put a little bit more importance on something, the phrase is slipping my mind. But most of the time it's good. But sometimes, when I need to have a little sense of, what's the word? Not sense of entitlement, sense of, I can't think of the word right now. But sometimes I can be a little slow to get started. But like I said, I've been working on a lot of things, definitely changing stuff. But it's consistency with the meditation though. But I think I try to place things in a level of importance on certain things. And just try not to get too mad about too much shit. So it is what it is. 9-10 times a day? I wish. Look. I ain't fucking 12, 13-year-old Honcho anymore. I don't got the juice anymore. But nah. So here's my thing, man. Like I said, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Let me run down the rundown. I am your host, Ed Honcho, if you don't know. If you want to make sure we tune out, I will be there tomorrow at 1. I know that I didn't get with y'all last night, so I definitely got y'all. Tomorrow we will have some good conversation going, so make sure you tune in tomorrow 1 p.m. Hopefully all the bad kids are at school. If they skipping class, if you're going to be watching while you're in class, tell your friends about the den. Tell your teacher about the den too. I like teachers. You can follow the Den on the Twitters at Den Show Live on Twitter. You can follow on the Gram at Den Show Live on the Gram. And you can definitely go to the Facebook page at Den Show Live. I do believe it's Den Show Live. And, like the Facebook page, go join the private Facebook group. The links are in the description below for that. Saturdays, we have a live podcast. Come listen. Go to denshowpodcast.com. I know you're like, well, all these domains. Den Show Podcast. Make sure you sign up. Make sure you're following the Den podcast so you can get the notification to be part of the live audio conversation. There's also a chat there so you can, chime in. Get you some Den Show merch, man. Hey, shout out to everybody who has copped some Den t-shirts and Den mugs and things like that. Go to Den Show Shop to, get you some of that fly attire. If you want to support the channel on a one-time basis, you can go to Denjamins.com. If you want to donate some Denjamins, all you got to do is go to Denjamins.com. Made it a little bit easier, so you don't have to type in that long-ass Streamlabs domain name, but you go to Denjamins.com if you want to support the channel. And for those of you who have been supporting the channel on a monthly basis, like I said, I finally squeezed some things out and kind of getting everything right. As we're going to be getting prepared for this relocation soon and everything like that. I will have content for y'all. It's just I've just been doing some other things, taking a little bit more time than usual. But for those of you who want to support the channel on a monthly basis, you can pledge to on a monthly basis to the channel by going to denfolk.com for you elite denfolk. I love all the denfolk. I don't think anybody's elite. Y'all, I love all the same. But again, I'm Ed Honcho. It has been an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to chop it up with you guys tonight. I will talk to you tomorrow, in about 24 hours, a little more, not 24, damn, I can't do my leave fucking shit. In a little more than 12, 13 hours. So I'll see y'all then. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Fuck DeMarkey and his request. I'm out.